Let's get started with our first news. Charles Oliva says Michael Chandler must finish Paddy Pimblett in 2 rounds, man, 30 million and call it good. Charles Oliva believes Michael Chandler must finish Paddy Pimblett in the first 2 rounds. Oliveira, who defeated Chandler twice, believes that Mike's best chance for victory lies in securing a quick finish early in the fight. Oliveira described Chandler as an aggressive and explosive fighter with knockout power, but pointed out that the younger fighter Paddy Pimblett has good movement, solid jiu-jitsu, and striking skills. Oliveira emphasized the importance of experience, acknowledging that Chandler could have success in the first 2 rounds, especially with his explosive style. This bout is incredibly crucial for Michael Chandler, who's had a rough run in the UFC with a 2-4 record. Despite his explosive and entertaining fighting style, Chandler has struggled to secure consistent victories at the top level, with losses to some of the best in the lightweight division, including Charles Oliveira and Justin Gaethje. This has led many to question whether he can still compete at the highest level and make a true run for the title. A win over Paddy could be a turning point in Chandler's career. Pimblett's been on the rise and is starting to make a name for himself, so beating him would not only give Chandler a much-needed win, but also prove that he can still compete at the highest level. It would keep him in the mix with the top guys, and remind everyone of his potential. But if Chandler loses, it could make people wonder if he still belongs in the conversation with the best, and it might force him to reconsider his place in the sport. Here's what Charles Oliva said. Michael Chandler is a very aggressive and explosive guy. I have nothing but respect for him. He has power in his hands on the other side. You have a younger guy that believes in himself, moves very well, and has really good jiu-jitsu, and also a good stand-up game. He moves well, but experience counts for a lot in the first 2 rounds. Chandler has a chance to knock him out because of how explosive he is. But if the fight goes into the 3rd round, I believe it's going to be hard for Chandler because Paddy is younger and he's very talented. Moving on to the next news, Demetrious Johnson goes off on Dana White for the Jones-Aspinall holdup. Mighty Mouse absolutely goes off on Dana White for refusing to pay $30 million to Jon Jones for the Aspinall fight in a recent appearance. On the Jackson podcast, Demetrious Johnson went on a rant explaining how the UFC could very comfortably pay Jones his desired amount. DJ brought up the UFC's reported annual earnings for 2024, which saw an outstanding rise compared to previous years. The former champ supports Jon Jones in his demand for a higher payday. The Jones vs. Aspinall fight could be one of the biggest fights in UFC history, given Jones's legacy as one of the greatest of all time, and Aspinall's meteoric rise as interim champion. And DJ believes the company should do everything in their power to make this fight happen, rather than lowballing Jones. Jones is coming off a dominant win over Stipe, and Aspinall recently ran through Curtis Blades in his last fight. Dana White remains optimistic about this super fight materializing for several months. Dana has consistently assured fans that the deal will be completed. Given that he rarely makes such confident statements about a fight unless it's finalized, it's hard to see him backing out now, but I think Tom Aspinall versus Jon Jones needs to happen. I think Jon Jones said he wants $30 million. Of course, they can pay. They just reported earnings. Let me see. It was a lot. I'll give the exact number. UFC brought in $1.4 billion, and WWE $1.4 billion. This mother is asking for $30 million. Don't tell me you don't have $30 million to pay. Jon Jones once again. We're in a situation where the company wants something from Jon Jones. They want Tom Aspinall to fight Jon Jones. Jon Jones says, I would like $30 million. Can you guys pay me, yes or no? No, Jon Jones, we can't pay you. Perfect. The fight doesn't even happen. Jon Jones rides into the sunset. That's how I feel negotiations should be. I'm proud of Jon Jones, he said. Y'all are going to have to pay me $30 million because they're going to make double whatever they pay him. I think Jon Jones is asking for $30 million plus pay-per-view points. And I don't see why not. Do you want the fight to happen? Yes or no? Yes, okay. Pay the man. Next up, Dricus Du Plessis has made a bold claim stating that Alex Pereira has lost his aura, according to Du Plessis. The mystique and dominance that surrounded Alex Pereira have vanished ever since his defeat to Magomed Ankalaev. For a long time, fans and fighters viewed Pereira as an almost unstoppable force, a fighter with devastating knockout power and precision striking that could end fights in an instant. His fearsome presence in the octagon made him one of the most dangerous fighters in the sport. However, Du Plessis believes that aura of invincibility has now been shattered. After his recent loss, Dricus Du Plessis believes that the fear factor surrounding Pereira is gone. While reacting to the fight, live Du Plessis didn't hold back. He made it clear that Ankalaev's victory had opened new doors for him, and he saw it as a massive opportunity. He even went as far as to thank Ankalaev, stating, "Thank you, Ankalaev, for taking the biggest payday of my life. It's nothing personal." His words suggest that he sees this fight result as a chance to step into the spotlight, take on the division's biggest names, and prove that he is the next top contender. Of course, Dricus Du Plessis is no stranger to making bold statements, and this was no different. His confidence is sky high, and with Pereira's loss, he now sees an opening to cement himself as the next big thing in the division. Meanwhile, Magomed Ankalaev didn't waste time in sending a message to Pereira. Taking to social media platform X, he made it clear that he still respects Pereira and acknowledges his greatness. He wrote, "Alex, when you're ready to go again, you deserve this." His words indicate that while Pereira's aura may have taken a hit, Ankalaev still sees him as a dangerous opponent. But the big question is, can Pereira bounce back? Throughout his career, Pereira has always been a warrior. He has fought through adversity and proven the doubters wrong time and time again. But after a loss like this, it's only natural for fans and analysts to ask, is this just a minor setback, or has Ankalaev exposed serious weaknesses in Pereira's game? Has Pereira truly lost his aura, or will he come back stronger than ever and prove that he is still one of the most feared strikers in the sport? One thing is for sure, this defeat will test Pereira like never before. If he wants to reclaim his dominance, he will need to come back more focused, more determined, and ready to destroy anyone who stands in his way. Only time will tell if Pereira's aura is truly gone, or if he will return with a vengeance. Meanwhile, Charles Oliveira has made a bold statement. He doesn't believe that Conor McGregor will ever fight again. According to Oliveira, fans need to accept reality and move on because the days of McGregor stepping inside the octagon are over. The former UFC lightweight champion didn't mince words when he declared fans should forget about McGregor. Oliveira expressed his frustration over the constant talk about McGregor's return, despite the Irishman making no move toward an actual fight. He said, "To be honest, I don't know why people are still talking about Conor McGregor. He's done everything he wanted to do in the sport, and now he's choosing to live his life the way he wants to." This statement highlights the fact that McGregor, once the most active and hungry competitor, has now shifted his focus to a different lifestyle, one that doesn't seem to involve fighting. Oliveira also pointed out how long McGregor has been teasing a return, yet nothing has happened. He reminded fans that we've been waiting for him to come back. Michael Chandler has been waiting for 2 years and he hasn't shown up. Chandler was promised a fight against McGregor, and despite all the hype, nothing has materialized. Oliveira sees this as clear proof that McGregor's fighting career is over. The Brazilian superstar believes it's time for the MMA community to stop living in the past and focus on the fighters who are actually competing. He stated, "I think fans should forget about McGregor and focus on the guys who are actually here fighting, training, and putting in the work. Conor McGregor coming back, he's not going to fight again." Those words carry weight, coming from a fighter who has been at the top of the division and understands what it takes to stay competitive at the highest level. So is Oliveira, right? Has McGregor officially closed the chapter on his MMA career? Many fans still hold on to hope, but the reality is becoming hard to ignore. With each passing month, it seems less likely that McGregor will ever return. At this point, is it time to stop waiting and accept that the mystique of the Notorious is nothing more than a memory? Only time will tell, but as far as Charles Oliveira is concerned, the answer is clear. Conor McGregor is done. Next news, Khamzat Chimaev sparring with Yaroslav Amosov. In an interview with Russian podcaster Asambayev, Khamzat Chimaev was asked about a rumored altercation he had with former Bellator welterweight champion Yaroslav Amosov. Known for his intense and relentless training style, Khamzat is no stranger to hard sparring sessions that sometimes turn into full-on wars. Many fighters have spoken about how uncompromising Chimaev can be in the gym, and this story was no different. When questioned about what really happened, Chimaev didn't hesitate to share the details. According to him, their sparring session was far from friendly. It turned into a brutal, uncompromising battle. Khamzat explained that they went really hard, pushing each other to the absolute limit, but eventually the intensity became too much for Amosov. Yaroslav took off his gloves, threw them onto the mat, and told Khamzat he'd never spar him ever again. This kind of reaction isn't uncommon when it comes to sparring with Khamzat. Fighters who have trained with him know just how intense those sessions can be. Often fighters say that Khamzat Chimaev's approach to sparring is the same as his approach to actual fights. He goes all out every single time. He doesn't believe in light sparring. To Khamzat, every round is a war, and if you can't handle the heat, you're going to get burned. Speaking about the altercation, Chimaev admitted, "Yes, it happened. We sparred just one time, and I don't know, some people don't like it. When I go hard, my coach told me to always go hard, so I went hard." He went on to say that Yaroslav simply didn't enjoy sparring that way, and that's why he decided to walk away. But for Khamzat, it was just another day at the gym. He added, "I got a little angry and threw some harsh words his way. I just have a different mentality." Chimaev has always prided himself on being a relentless warrior both inside and outside the cage. He believes that sparring should be as intense as a real fight, because that's the only way to prepare for battle. He made it clear that he respects Amosov as a fighter, but emphasized, "I like to go to war. I like pain." This story only adds to Chimaev's reputation as one of the most feared fighters in MMA today. Whether it's in training or inside the octagon, he is an absolute monster, and if you step in with him, you better be ready for war. Finally, Volkanovski breaks down Oliveira versus Makhachev.